Welcome back to ECE 442-542. This is the announcement lecture relative to our next unit, which is Unit 6, dealing with PID controller basics, proportional integral derivative controller basics. This is lecture 6.1, which is going to be talking about or summarizing the PID controller and then getting into the very first part of that, which is proportional control. Before we do that, I want to just provide the announcements at this point. You should find now a roadmap, a calendar in note form and in a video in the module entitled Transition to Online on D2L, and that might help you better plan or get ready for the rest of the semester. Unit 3, today you should be taking the first attempt for for the quiz on Unit 3. Saturday will be the second attempt. If you want to try to improve your score, you have that opportunity for doing that for the Unit 3 quiz, taking the second attempt on Saturday of this week, April 4th. Quiz 4 will occur next Wednesday, the first attempt. The second attempt will be the following Saturday, which is the 11th of April, and I will try to provide you with a Unit 4 quiz review in notes and video to be found in the Unit 4 module, and that may not happen until Monday of next week. Homework 5, there's a lot of different numbers to keep track of. Again, this is the beginning of Unit 6, but Homework 5, the due date for that homework assignment has been extended a week. It's been modified to Monday, April 13th. And you will find some supplements for Unit 5 material that you might want to refer to. I would recommend that you do, and they pertain to how to create a desired closed-loop transfer function. What if your performance specifications are competing with each other? How do I make sense of sampling and aliasing? There's also a supplemental video on the controller design process in general that gives you an overview. And finally, the last supplement is labeled 5.5. There is not a lecture 5.5. This is the lecture 5.5, which is as a supplement, but it deals with the second example for the Ragazzini design, and that particular example helps illustrate this concept of intersample ripple. For Unit 6, which is what this is beginning for, this is Lecture 6.1, you can start reading in subsequent sections of the textbook for the class. Section 5.1 talks about the root locus sketching strategy for the analog controller, and 6.1 talks about that in digital. The rules for creating the root locus are exactly the same for an analog S-domain root locus sketch or for a Z-plane digital or discrete time setting root locus sketch. It's just how do you interpret those sketches. That varies because obviously stability and performance specifications in the S-plane are different than stability and performance specifications in the Z-plane. The left half plane and the complex S-plane concern stability. Inside the unit circle for the Z-plane is where we refer to, or that's what is associated with the stability concept in discrete time systems. Likewise, we have our breakfast cereal shapes in the Z-plane. We have our hearts that influence or are helping us better understand settling time behavior. Our hearts, or logarithmic spirals, give us an insight into the percent overshoot behavior, and these angles that our complex poles make with the positive real axis in the Z-plane, Those angles or wedge shapes determine the peak time behavior. Again, just as a reminder, discussion posts you'll want to read and see if those provide some additional insight beyond what you're getting in these lectures. Office hours are being held on Mondays and Wednesdays from 4 to 5. If you are experiencing difficulties with the class or in general, please send me an email, and I hope at this point in the semester you're aware that Exam 2 and Exam 3 have been replaced by unit quizzes. And we will have 5 of those unit quizzes, 3 through 7. Those units will be quizzed. You will be given the best 4 of those 5 quiz scores. And Unit 8, which is dealing with state space control design concepts, that's going to be an extra credit or an optional unit. I hope that now gives you, it's quite a bit of information for announcements concerning or starting with Unit 6, which is PID Controller Basics.